This is a tutorial about how to pull comps from MyBore and determine the after repair value of a property. First thing that you want to do is go to the Dropbox, the analysis templates folder. Right here we have deal analysis template. You always want to download this from Dropbox. We change the spreadsheet from time to time, and Dropbox has the most current version. So we're going to download that. Open this. There are a bunch of tabs in here. The one that you would care about first is the comparables tab. So we'll get this open. Now we're going to go to MyBore. And log in. And select the BLC listing service. Search, cross property. We're going to select anything that's active with a contingency, that's pending, anything that's been leased or rented within the last 2 years, and anything that's been sold within the last year. We put our address in here. There's the comps for a property we already own, 3258 North New Jersey. You can see down here we have 5,000 matches. That means it didn't register. Sometimes you have to put the city in here as well. All right, 55. We're going to select any property within, say, half a mile. In fact, let's cut it down. Let's go a quarter mile within this property range. Okay. So we're going to click map. In a city like this, in this particular neighborhood, we only want to look at stuff within a quarter mile. When you're getting out to the suburb areas, you probably will look at a mile radius. So right here we have our map. This red dot is our property address, 3258 North New Jersey, and then these dots around here, these symbols. Green properties are active, yellow properties are pending, and red properties have already been sold. So you can click on results. There are 55 here. It only shows 25 on the first screen. You'll probably want to change that to 300 so you can see all the rows. We're going to select here, highlight all of them. We're going to click export. Select bulk screen MK, export, and then open. All right, this is all the properties that we just looked at on that map, downloaded into a spreadsheet. We're going to start here in cell A2. We don't want to include the title, the headers of the column. We don't need those. Just the data. Cell A2. I'm holding down the Shift key and hitting the right arrow to highlight all the data. Still holding Shift. Also push Control and then the down arrow. That highlights all your properties. You can copy. Go back to our deal analysis, and here in cell F5, right here, we're going to paste the values. Always want to make sure you paste values. You do not want to paste. We've got some conditional formatting over here. You can see how some of these cells turned green, different colors. There's a reason for that. All right. Now we need to put our information for our subject property up here in row 1. And this property just happens to have sold recently, so we can get what we need right here from MLS. Again, we're going to paste values, same story up here. Paste values. Okay, this property is 2,516 square feet, pretty big. So what we're going to do is we're going to sort by square footage, all these comps. And you can either sort small to big or big to small. And 2,500 is relatively big, so we'll sort large to small. You can see here, our spreadsheet has automatically highlighted any properties that are within 10% of square footage. We've got red highlights for our sold properties, yellow highlights for pending, and then if it's active or under contract with the contingency, it's nothing. We've got 8 rooms, 3 bedrooms, 1 full bath, 1 half bath, built in 1912. It does have a basement. So they're going to highlight anything green is similar property, comparable, right? So square footage within 10%, room count within 1, bedroom count within 1, plus or minus 1. Same thing for bathrooms. Year built, I think it highlights anything built within 10 years of our subject property. Other things over here that are important. Price is going to be important here in a minute. This is what area is what county and what township it's in. Acreage, how big the lot is. What school district we're in. That can be obviously very important. What subdivision we're in. But over here we have the address. We have 3258 North New Jersey. And again, the addresses for all these comparable properties down below. Now, this was easy. It was easy to get the information for our subject property because this was on the MLS. If it's not on the MLS, hasn't been sold recently, you're going to go back to your My Board tab. And right here where it says Real List, you're going to click here. This is the county property tax records database. Taking a little while to open here, but here we go. And over here on the left-hand side, we can search for certain properties. We can search by address or city or zip code, owner name. So again, we do the same thing. 3258 North New Jersey. All right, didn't like that. Let's see. Get rid of the north. I know it's an address. Here we go. All right. Over here, we've got one record. This is already selected, so click that. Click View Reports. All right, and this is going to give us the information that the tax assessor has about the house. So here we can see it has 3 bedrooms. There's some information up here. We're going to built 1912. MLS square footage. It says 3476. That's not right. We're going to scroll down here and look a little bit something else. All right, here's our owner name. Whoever buys houses. That's us. Here's our township. It's Center Township, Marion County. Here's the subdivision information that we looked at earlier. Here's our assessed value. We're actually going to use this 156,800. We're going to go back to our deal analysis template, and our tab that says Flip Prelim. We're going to enter that assessed value right here in cell D4. Here's our lot acreage, 0.15. So if you had to type that in manually, you go to your comparables tab. You don't really type in 0.15, you essentially just type in less than a quarter acre, like this. Again, built in 1912. Okay, here's what we care about. Above grade square footage. It says 2,090. In fact, that's not right either because there's an attic. there's an attic square foot up here. Anyway, if we were pulling this information for another property, we only care about square footage that's above the ground, above grade. So we care about first floor, which is this number, our second floor, which is this number. And if there's an attic, I would include this as well. So here we're saying 960 for the attic. I don't know if that's right, but we'll go with it. 8 rooms, bedrooms. You have different information from tax records or MLS. Be close, right? It's just close. Just pick one. Total baths. Tells you if they have a garage, how big the garage is. It also tells you it has a basement. We're here somewhere. Here we go. Basement square footage, 960. There's some other information down here too. If it's been sold before on the MLS, there'll be a link to the listing, which is a good place to get information. Some other good information down here too. History of the property, who owned it, what it traded for, who sold it to who for how much. Okay. But we have that information here. So next step. We're going to, for these properties that are similar in square footage and similar, and we're going to figure out which ones are comparable, most likely to our subject property. And we're really looking for things that are in pretty good shape, that we're trying to determine the after repair value. After we buy this house and fix it up, what could we sell it for? So if I'm looking at these similar price properties, I have some things, I've got the high end of 217, and I have, at the low end, I've got, I got a $200,000 comp, 190. I've got something at 75,000 here. All right, so let's look at these. We'll go one by one, and you also want to look a little bit higher and lower. Kind of put a bracket around this. I know in this, for instance, this property here that sold at 215. This is literally the house right next door. And this is 3250 New Jersey. We're 3258. This little house right next door sold. So we'll look at that as well. But we're going to look at this. We're going to highlight the MLS number, copy that, go back to Matrix, make sure you uncheck all those. We're going to find that property. Just search for Control F and Control V. Find that property. This is 3110 Delaware. And we're going to look at it. Okay, we know this is similar. It's similar in square footage. We can look at the pictures. It's 2 stories. We got a nice porch. All right, hardwood floors need refinished. This house is not in great shape. This is pre-rehab. It's not terrible, but it's definitely, not what ours is going to look like when it's done. Click through all the pictures. All right, it does have a finished basement, so with the finish, it looked like there at the end. Yeah, that's definitely, you can see the drop ceiling. Finished basement with the high windows. Okay, so that had some value. But this sold at 190. It's a little bit bigger than 2,700 square feet, a little bit bigger, and it sold at 190. So this is not necessarily a good comp, but it's a good reference point because I think we get more than 190. Here, this one is active. This is competition. 107. We're not going to look at that one. This one sold at 75. Let's see what a $35,000 house looks like. I'm going to click this. It says agent single line display. I'm going to just search for this property here. 3358 Ruckle. There are also notes down here. If you were to look up this property on Zillow or Trulia, this is what you'd read. Old world charm lives here. 4-bedroom, 1.5 bath, has great bones, etc., etc. There's another section down here that only real estate agents can read. There's oftentimes some good information here, so read that. Another thing to note, this one doesn't have it, but underneath the pictures, sometimes looks like little papers. Those are disclosure documents. You can click that, and if there's something really wrong with the house, they might tell you there. So again, look at the pictures. This one looks like it needs a ton of work. Yeah, ugly, right? This is a full rehab, full cosmetic, probably full mechanicals, probably needs a roof, maybe some structural issues. I mean, that's not what we're looking for here. All right, let's look at one of these that I do think is a valid comp here. 217. This is literally the other side of this house. This is 3270 New Jersey. So another neighbor. Look at this one. Okay. All right, looks really nice. Looks like it has new siding or it's been painted. The porch is in good shape. Looks like it has new windows. Resodded the yard, reseeded the yard. Hardwoods look nice. Stairs look nice. Trim's painted. Everything. I mean, this is a nice house. This has been rehabbed. This is staged. Nobody lives like this. Okay, this is full rehab. This is great. This is a good comp for us. You know, it's right next door, it's similar sized. All right, so that's a good comp. Go back to our deal analysis. So we decided that we think this is a good comp here. And we're going to do this for all these, everything that's green, or everything that we think is reasonable. And if it's a good comp, right here in column B, you're going to put an X. That's all you do, just put an X. And we're going to do that for anything that we think is a good comp. So let's put that one we think is good. I know this one down here is good too. Again, this is the other house right next door that sold. I'm just going to make this up for now. That's fine. We'll just pick these two. You want more than two. You like to have some smaller, some bigger, but this is kind of what we're going at. So right now, this is telling me that this house sold for $100 a square foot. This one sold for $95 a square foot. So realistically, we can probably expect to get somewhere in that range, $95 to $100 a square foot. So if we got that, an average of those, we'd sell for $245. Okay, that seems a little high. We're also going to look over here and say, okay, for these houses that are in our range, did any of them actually sell for $245? And none of them did. Right? It's going to be hard for us to, even if we're a little bigger than these, it's going to be hard for us to get an appraisal at $245,000 if none of our immediate neighbors sold that high. All right, so we got 217, we have 215. There's a one pending at 265. We should look at that and see what it looks like. But that's bigger, 2,900 square feet. You got some that are much bigger. Listed. This is active at 449. I saw this house. It's beautiful. Sold here at 340. These are a lot bigger. So realistically, even though our formula says 245, we're not going to get that. Again, we've got a good comp at 217, a good comp at 215. We're a little bigger. Maybe we get a little more than that. But for now, let's just put in. Let's put. We'll put in the high number on this one. We'll put in 217. Okay. So that's how you determine out the repair value. You're going to look at pictures, look at the data, figure out what a reasonable range is. I think on the low end, if we do this right, we're getting 215, 217. On the high end, maybe we could justify, 220, 230, kind of best case scenario. I don't think we're going to get that, but you never know. Okay. So then, all right, the rest of this sheet, we're going to kind of make up a desired profit here. We're essentially we want 15% of. We'd like to make 15% on our money if we can. So we're going to put in a rehab estimate. We'll talk about how to get that later. But in this case, it's going to be about $50,000. Could be conservative. Closing costs on the front end, don't change that. $1,500. Closing costs on the back end, you don't have to change this. We're going to pay real estate commissions of a little less than 6%, and you're going to have some closing costs of a couple $1,000. Insurance, this is going to calculate automatically. Taxes are going to calculate automatically. Again, and this is based on a 4-month hold time. If it's going to be longer, a lot of work, then it may be 6 months. Utilities, we'll change that to $250 a month. There are no HOA dues here. We'll change that. No financing. All right, this tells us that our maximum offer, if we sell for $217 and put 50 grand into it, and we want to make $32,550, our maximum offer is $115. All right, and in this case, we actually bought this property for $110,000. So if you change that number, this right here will do the math and say, all right, if you buy for 110, sell for 217, rehab for 50, you have these holding costs. Here's what you're left with at the end, $38,254, and this is our cash on cash return under that scenario, 23.3%. We want this number to at least be $20,000, or we're not going to do the deal, and we want this number to be at least 15%. So if one of those two things aren't true, we're probably not going to do the deal. Now the other thing to note on this page that we care about is our sensitivities. This one in particular. So right here, it's profit table. We're pulling in the purchase price of 110 because we know what we're going to pay Our rehab number. What happens if our rehab number isn't 50? What if it's 55 or 60,000? Right? Our numbers obviously aren't as good. We have our after repair value pegged at 217. What if that's not right? What if we're 10% too low and we sell for higher, or what if we're 10% too high and we actually sell for lower? That's what these numbers do. And then this matrix here will tell you how much money that you would make in each scenario. So at 217 and 50 you're at a rehab, it's 38,254. That matches what we had done here in our initial calculation. If rehab goes over by 5 grand, we make less. If it goes over by 10 grand, we make less. If it goes over by 10 grand and we can only sell for 195, then we make $7,800. So in this scenario, unless something goes horribly wrong, and it could, we'll stand to make at least a profit on this deal. So that's how you pull comparables from the MLS and determine after repair value.